Crystal Ball. That is from Rasta. He's one blood, and he will get the Starboy Ball. Easy way. Well, he wants a danger move. Actually, for his ADC, as he gets late and opened up with an enchanted crystal arrow. New instant kill lane. That's good. Gets the kill. There is the 3-man shockwave. But the 1-point link ultimate. Explosive cast. Plus the Howling Gale. That is a double kill. Sarah will.
And right, Glenn will just be one shot after that. Blizzard eyeing Kanako here. Iconic as well. They see we get triple.
Of course, welcome back, Summoners, as we head into Game 3 of the Lenovo LOL Collegiate League. But before anything else, we are going to be introducing ourselves as we are your casters for today. Arctic at your service, and of course with me is Rockhart. Welcome, 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 man. And yeah, I mean, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this matchup for today, let's go ahead and announce the winners of our Search and Win. Of course, for the first link winner, the question was, what is the first drink that appeared in Game 1 of UCC versus SLU? Of course, the answer is the Mountain Drake, and congratulations to Philip Anthony Ponce.
Alright, and the second link winner, the question was, who secured the first blood in Game 2 of SLU versus UCC? And the answer is SLU Vince. So, winner is Brunel Jones Castro. Congratulations, you get a mystery gift as well as the first link winner.
Yes, of course. Be sure, sa mga nanalo, you'll be receiving your mystery gift in about 5 working days, Max. So, fingers crossed, syempre, yung habang nag-aantay kayo, manalangin na kayo, legendary skin, legendary skin, legendary skin. One like, one prayer. But yeah, tingnan natin. But yeah, going into the matchup, UPD versus DLSU Dasmariñas. So this is actually going to be a very juicy game because both sides, there's a lot on the line. Ito yung mga nasa upper spectrum actually ng Interconference natin. UPD actually going undefeated thus far. Well, DLSU, so ito nga sa screen natin, they actually have 1 loss. Pero this is very crucial in the sense that if DLSU Dasmariñas manages to get 2-0 UPD, then it's basically guaranteed for them. They get a guaranteed slot into the
semifinals.
Semifinals,
yeah.
Yes, there you go.
So,
and at the same time for UPD rin, it's actually goes both ways din naman. UPD actually needs to get a 2-0 for them to get one step closer to getting out of the Interconference series.
Yeah, but LaSalle Dasma, definitely ang ganda ng chance nila to get into this game. They have the tools, they have the manpower to do it, and they have the ferocity of Lasallians in order to secure it. But hindi magpapatalo ang mga taga-UP, of course.
Yes, there you go. It's basically the Maroons versus the Archers. Tama.
Oh.
Green versus Maroon. There you go.
Why do these schools always find their ways in a lot of these matches, right? In a lot of sports, not just esports, basketball, right? And volleyball.
All these different industries, basically.
Yeah, it's great. They somehow clash, and just maybe just goes to show they're maybe
there's
on
a
the
little
top tier.
something, yeah. There's a reason why they're kind of in this Big 4-ish, they'd say.
Oh yeah.
Pero yeah, anyways, let's go ahead into the pick and ban for DLSU and UP Diliman. Yes, sirree. That is going to be the Maokai band off right off the bat from Iconic. We do see Maokai. I mean, kasi Maokai, because of the rework, kind of goes both ways. Could be in the top, could be... We do see him in the jungle because of the changes that they've done to the saplings, which makes it much more potent. Pero yeah, Thresh and Fiora, Jana. Wow, it's actually a lot like top bans and then support bans. What can you say about this so far?
Yeah, I like the support bans. They kind of stop utility supports. Like, we know Neep and is of course high caliber support yan from ever since naman. And he's super utility based as well. And he's one of the players that rarely make mechanical mistake. So that's probably why they're drawing attention to this ban, which is contrary to what we've seen on the bans from the previous games, which were almost, oh my god, 70%, 80% jungle bans in both games.
Not to mention the fact that, okay, so support bans across the board. Thresh, Lulu, Jana, Karma, what are we gonna see? Pero mukhang, ano ba ang tawag dito? Pag yung mga couple goals,
relationship goals.
Relationship goals, yan. Tama. There you go. Relationship goals, Blizzard and Neep. So Rakan and Saya.
This is a great composition to get in the bot lane.
Yep.
Very safe Saya from Rakan. Rakan, 7.10, maganda na yan. Pina-improve yung range ng Q niya.
Thank God.
Oh my God, the much needed buff to his Q. Kasi before when on 7.9, you were like,
It's like sobrang bitin na.
Fall
short,
Ang
yeah.
taas pa ng mana cost niya. So it's not as popular of a pick. Although ang dami namang nagpapaka-Rakan master, pakalabas pa lang. Now they're really gonna be masters if they're able to master Rakan with the increased range. We're talking about it like it's a small thing maybe, but it's huge.
Ang
Trust
laking
me, it's
bagay
huge.
talaga, oo.
Pulling off heals is huge. More heals equals more wins.
Tapos what's interesting kasi, pag Rakan Saya, lalo pag kumari nagsa-solo queue ka, tapos may makita kang duo na Rakan Saya, it goes both ways in the sense na it's either praktisado nila yung just to really maximize the Rakan Saya synergy, or to go the other way na it kind of falls flat na pinagpilitan yung relationship goals. Di ako bitter, guys, promise, I swear. But yeah, anyways, sige, going back to the picks naman, mapunta pa tayo dun. Caitlyn and Nami into an Orianna.
Right. It's great that they picked the Caitlyn and Nami because what do you want to do against a duo lane that wants to sustain as well? You sustain as well again. Especially here, ano ba advantage ni Caitlyn against Asaya? Maybe most likely range. Again, we like to emphasize Caitlyn's range is excellent. That's why he's a staple pick in most competitive games. Not just locally, internationally, it's really well known that Caitlyn will outscale a lot of or outfarm a lot of AD carries in the start of the game, and a lot of players, especially those who are mechanically gifted, will want to take advantage of that.
Pero yan. Yeah, anyways, going into these bans naman, before we head into the second rotation of picks right here, Elise and Kazik, so there's a lot of emphasis being banned out from Veer, and Veer is actually very good at both the Elise and the Kaziks. I've seen his Elise is actually one of my favorite Elise players in the LCL. Tapos yung Kaziks naman niya, I was actually spectating UPD just last night.
Yeah.
Grabe, actually, sobrang nag-snowball yung Kaziks niya into this way up there. So I'm actually not surprised. Maybe this was actually scouting from DLSU on their part. So, pero yeah, Veer, Kaziks, Elise, these are champions that he's very efficient at. Ari Gragas naman ang banned out from DLSU. Going into the picks.
Yeah, so this is contrary to how a lot of these junglers are starting to become more tankier. So Veer can go both ways. He can go for like a really high carry jungler. Most likely he might have a Rengar there somehow hidden, and he can also go for tanky utilities like Zac. As well as it's weird that that's the downside of these bans. You leave the junglers out, they're able to pick up high priority junglers like Lee Sin and as well as the Zac. So that's a downside. But I think both teams will take that. They'll take that hit.
Yeah, ultimately. I mean, these are two high caliber teams, if not probably one of my favorite teams in the LCL thus far, especially for this group. So sobrang taas actually yung expectation ko from both DLSU Dasma and UPD Liman. Pero tingnan natin if it actually translates. Will we be something a little bit more explosive, or are we gonna see the scales kind of tilt to one side, favoring it? Pero I mean, like I mentioned, I feel like it's gonna go much more even between these two. Like I mentioned, these are two high caliber teams for LCL. Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see how this translates. But yeah, based on composition, tingnan mo, Rockhard.
Yeah, I like the composition that the bot lane of UP has. Not so much. Maybe we'll have to rely on Zac. We'll have to be careful of Zac engages, because you saw like 2 games ago, Zac was going crazy. Zac was kidnapping people left and right. A lot of people have not been accustomed to the mechanic that Zac is bringing. The kidnapping and
I love how you refer to it as kidnapping.
Yeah, that's what everyone calls it for some reason.
Zac, kinidnap! Dalawang
Okay, so this is Game 3, LaSalle Dasma versus UP Diliman, and this is going to, again, for Interconference supremacy, one team will go to the semifinals. But I think SLU still has a chance.
Yeah, both teams actually. It's if either team goes 2-0, if DLSU DLSU Dasma gets the 2-0, it's like they get to go to the next round. For UPD, if they get to 2-0, solidifies their chances. Pero basically, for DLSU naman, as much as possible, they don't want to get another loss. Right. So it's gonna make it all the more trickier for them. And yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to go to 0 at the end of the day? It's like the
course.
best side that you want. But yeah, so going into this game right now.
Okay, so we have great positioning here for every team. Of course, they will want to just play safe. Okay, we're here going for the very taunty Zach. Yeah, I hate that laugh, but it's one of the weirder laughs, the more tauntier laughs in League of Legends, aside from maybe
The
who's
Nunu
a
bot.
weird, yeah, who's a weird laugh? Nunu?
Nunu bot. Like,
ah.
Like,
Let's
it's so
crack to it,
annoying,
huh?
man.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the rotations. I mean, the starts for both.
Yeah.
So both sides actually going to be starting off their respective red camps. Actually, mukhang magsa-start pala si...
Raptor camps.
Yeah, Raptor camps
Yeah,
for both
both of them.
sides.
So, but Raptors have definitely risen in popularity as a start for most junglers. Mostly because of a lot of gold and as well as the difficulty of taking it down pag mag-isa ka lang. So you want to start it off with assistance from mostly your mid lane, maybe your support at some point, but no support is going to go that far. So yeah, mid lane. And that's why they opt for that. So it'll make the rest of the jungle route easier for them.
Exactly. So, yeah. Again, this will actually be very interesting because a lot of the starts that we've seen thus far, usually it's on the same side.
Right.
So I like how it's kind of the opposites. So that being said, parang we'll be seeing action from both sides of the map, depending if these junglers do opt for a gank as far as after 3 minutes.
That's right, because usually when they start adjacent to each other, they kind of sort of meet at some point, and then they just start disengaging, and then we see them just going about their separate ways, and that doesn't really equate to advantages to either team. So we want a lot of teams, especially in this caliber of play, they want to take early advantages. So that's probably why they're starting on these jungle paths right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially since this is a Zac, and not to mention the fact that they do get a decent leash of the Raptors from both these mid laners. Syndra just needs to get the Dark Spear on.
Yeah, because they're both AoE.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great help. That's why they start on Raptors. Because Raptors in itself is really hard to kill. If you're, especially Lee Sin, you don't have much AoE. Zac maybe a bit more. He has a bit more sustain because of that gooey body of his. Right now, oh my gosh.
Oh no,
Jace, iconic. You are
a little bit of trouble here, not to mention a little bit low on mud.
Whoa.
Mukhang tumakbo pa si Astas in a different direction, but here we go. Asta actually going in. UPD, iconic goes down. That is going to be the first blood going to DLSU.
That was a great bait in favor of DLSU. He really went straight for it. And now Zac, he does not want to be left alone.
Fear actually, will they be able to get Retribution? Arcmon actually manages to ghost and flash away, but still 2 summoner spells burn. In comparison to Iconic, actually didn't even need to burn a summoner spell, accepting his fate instead.
That's right, because he was way too far.
Oh, Berserk! Oh,
Speaking of Flash.
Oh no, will he be going down though? That is the question. Oh, actually survives. Here comes Fear though. Asta actually, will he be able to get the kill on the further? Here comes Kane though for the support, gets the kill. 2-0 for DLSU, and wow, UPD actually fumbling a little bit in the early minutes of the game.
Yeah, DLSU, that's actually, wow, they're very decisive on how they want to take it. And at some point, they're baiting Yuffie in excellent form. They know when to take it, and they are taking it when they can. Especially on that top side, Iconic was so far down the turret. There was no wards. He was super confident. Mad God was baiting him like hell.
Oh man, this is crazy. And yeah, this just goes to show, you know, UPD definitely needs to kind of respect DLSU a little bit more, because Iconic was a little bit into deep, especially since I'm actually surprised in a way that he didn't anticipate a potential gag from Asta, because like you mentioned, he did start off towards the red side, transitioning into the upper side of the map. So it's somewhat expected, after, like we mentioned, after the 3-minute mark, that's where you might expect a gank from these junglers right here. And you know, Iconic was a little bit in too deep. That Asta actually, ang layo pa ng inikot niya.
That's right, yeah. He took his time. He waited until
and it didn't even matter.
Yeah, that's right. So here, Arctic, what do you think? Who do we watch out for? Where's the point of power in the team of DLSU that maybe UPD will have to play around in order to maybe get back some of those advantages?
Well, to be honest, when I think DLSU, I look at players such as Arkmon, such as Scyther, because these are names that immediately pop into my mind as far as some of the stronger players on the DLSU roster. Well, what's interesting kasi about UPD, it's a little bit more diverse, wherein actually medyo may pagka-superstar factor yung across the board. Pero still, it doesn't necessarily mean DLSU doesn't have a fighting chance, because thus far as we've been seeing, DLSU actually capitalizing on a lot more mistakes that UPD has been making as opposed to UPD doing vice versa.
Right, and that's translated to a 1K gold lead at around just 6 minutes. So that might sound really small, but at this point in the game, that's very substantial. Where most people, a lot of people don't have their ultimates up yet, and you know, there's very small chance for playmaking decisions. Because both these teams, they want to be playing safer because this is very critical.
Indeed.
Either one of these games that they will be playing today can decide who's going to represent this conference. And right now,
Iconic actually is quite low on mana and health as well. You know, Mad God actually, doing actually quite well on this Renekton. Then again, Renekton for me is actually one of those stronger top laners, if not probably a little bit more broken.
That's
but
right.
In my opinion, at least. But yeah, that being said, it's definitely showing in this game thus far. Iconic. Oh, I'm actually surprised na right off the bat, low health, low mana. Actually goes for the flash in. That's the kill. Wow.
And the bash there from Mad God. Mad God definitely one of the players. Then watch more. He died from the creep.
Oopsie. That's a little bit of a miscalc right there. He was already safe technically, but he still had to farm.
He could walk out.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just about to say, Mad God, one of the newer members of DLSU that was introduced pretty late in the conference. He had great games on that. He was actually one of the Renektons where he had an advantage over Camille.
Ooh, look at the damage
right now,
going on.
Here.
Right there. Has to back off a bit. But yeah, as
I was saying, Mad God, one of the better changes that were made to DLSU's lineup from the past. We had a champion who was a top laner, Chameleon. He was one of the top. He was a top laner for DLSU for that's not for a few games back.
Killing spree actually for us though. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we did not see that. What? Oh yeah, that was in the mid lane. Okay, there you go. So there were resources expended. No, not much resources expended for that kill. Actually, no flash. Both flashes still intact. So that might have been just Berserk walking in. And that's an uncharacteristic mistake because Berserk is known to play these control mages very conservatively.
And I mean, kakaiba yung I don't mean to go for the pun, but kakaiba yung inaasta nitong si I couldn't help it, I'm sorry. But yeah, that being said, it with good reason kasi 3-0 on a Lee Sin within, again, this is Lee Sin. This will allow him a lot more opportunity for the fancy footwork that we know Lee Sin could kind of do. So again, UPD has to be a little bit more calculated in a way as they go about, because this is just gonna grant us a lot more pressure as far as what he can do across this map. Definitely a threat that has to be looked out for. Yeah, let's go and check out the replay.
Here's the replay that we didn't see. Asa going in for the ward hop and the kill. He was able to capitalize on Orianna. He did not have
no, here goes the fight. No, Scyther taking a lot of damage. Forced to back away. The kill ultimately going to Blizzard. Okay, forced to back away, but still, UPD getting a kill off that. Not bad at all. And they might be translating this to a dragon potentially. We'll just have to see.
That is actually right. And they do have the vision coverage to do that. UPD not going to take any of this abuse very lightly. They're going to close out the gap, the goal gap, very slightly, and they will have control, which is a great advantage to have at this point in the game. And there are pings going on, going towards Dragon. I think they are going to go for it.
Oh, there we go. Pero, one thing I gotta commend UP sa UP. Kasi karamihan ng teams na nakikita natin, kapag may mistakes silang ginagawa sa simula, wala silang ginagawang steps na makorek yun. What I like about UPD is, kapag may mali sila, makikita mo agad yung adjustment para maiwasan nila yung mga mistakes na they don't allow it to repeat again.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's very telling as to what type of team UPD is as far as the preparation, not just the preparation but the talent they have as a team. Pero that being said, this might be a very interesting game because DLSU, Dasama, is definitely one of those teams that you go head to head with them. And like I mentioned, a lot is on the line.
That's right. On the other hand, though, I like how LaSalle Dasma, instant sagot naman sa Mountain Break. They went for a Rift Herald very quickly, and UPD wasn't able to foresee that. So it's great that LaSalle Dasma also, again, we see the caliber and the competitiveness of these teams. They are showing that macro is not something that to be taken lightly, and that's something that a lot of our summoners will also can learn from. These are great. These are some of the best players from some of the best schools in the Metro East Conference, and these are things that you want to see whenever you play, even in a solo queue game, even when you're not in a team that's necessarily communicating at all the time with each other. You want to be able to at least take a proactive step to maybe tell them, hey, we're going to take control of this part of the map. They're going to take control of that part of the map. It's going to be a trade. It's going to be okay. But at least we both get objectives from it. And that's something that, again, it's a good thing to have for any summoner.
And I like how DLSU actually gave the Rift Herald buff to Asta. Because that being said, like I mentioned, because of that lead that he has, he could just go across the map with relative ease. And the fact that he has that Rift Herald, because he has that empowered recall to boot, not to mention, once he does get a pretty successful gank onto a lane, it allows them much more push potential once he releases Rift Herald. There just are so many options for us at this point. And I really like how DLSU is playing, basically it's playing to their strengths, what opportunities you already have at hand, and just capitalize on that.
Yeah, and that's right. That's also going to allow Asta to catch up to the potential of Veer, because Veer, he has, let's admit it, Zach has greater range. They both can ward up over walls, but Lee Sin's range is severely different from Veer, where he can go out from greater distances, from unseen distances, even those from unwarded areas. So the small move speed boost from Herald is going to help with catch up, and we're going to see that most likely as the game progresses.
Oh, ito na ba couple goal recalls?
Ooh, there you go. It's a great, some people might think it's sort of like a niche, like a pa-cute thing, a novel thing.
I hate it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Some people might say it's just novelty, but it's actually really effective.
Yeah.
You will, oh my god, we have a small ambush here. Hold that thought.
Oh no, Veer actually has to cancel out that jump, but goes on to two members of DLSU. This is going to be madness right here. Actually going to the turret, but Veer kidnaps members of DLSU into that turret right there. Archmon gets exhausted. Will he be able to escape? So that is the question. Looks like that'll be the case, but for the meantime, that is going to be a victory for UPD.
That's a great play there from Veer. Again, this is what we were highlighting earlier. We're not just saying kidnap very lightly. That's what Zach does. If you are, okay, what's the word I'm looking for? Kumpul in one area. He is gonna take all of you in. And what's the word for group kidnap? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Nako, masama yan, Zach.
There's like homicide, there's genocide. Zach is a kidnap side. Yeah. Zach side.
Pinagpilitan. Well, we are 4-3 on the scoreboard right now. And look like UPD will also get a bonus, as that is going to be the first turn of the game going to them. Yeah, tingnan natin yung replay.
We'll see here, both teams actually wanted to go for ganks. It just happened that the LaSalle Dasma actually had more members in. And for a minute there, you think nas namang yung LaSalle, pero biglang pasok si Rakan and double knockups, as well as the ultimate from Neep, able to chase, he's gonna use the exhaust to chase it. And the end of that, you'll see that they were able to take most of that for themselves.
Finally, oh, looks like the Rift Herald actually iced someone.
Alright, here we go. It's the big bug from the Void. Oh, wait a second.
A lot of action though happening here in this bot lane right here. K actually down, but Iconic actually goes for the teleport. Here comes Mad God though, gonna try to make something out of this. Forced to back away though, as UPD's members actually safely return their turret. But looks like a lot of fights happening across the board though. Another fight happening here. Arcmon actually chasing down Veer. He will be able to get the kill though, but he has to be careful as Blizzard actually, Nape actually within the vicinity right here. And that's a lot of damage that he's taking. Will be going down. Killing spree for Veer.
Yeah, Neep showing frenzy footwork there, flying in and out of battle and using that ultimate in last to get Syndra's attention and able to kill them. And that's great though, but what happened here for LaSalle, I think they left the Rift Herald in order to try to break that turret, but basically both teams reacted really well. And this is what happens when you have two top caliber teams that are going at each other in a macro perspective. Multiple fights are gonna happen because both teams are trying to take multiple points of the map at the same time, and that's what you want to do. Because if you focus too much of your energy into one map, in one side of the map, it's gonna be predictable.
Exactly.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to be unpredictable. Unfortunately, they are facing each other at these times where they try to catch each other off guard.
And that's the thing, like, at the end of the day, especially like you did mention, these are two top caliber teams. That being said, parang ano talaga to eh, whoever pulls the trigger first in a successful manner na yung with minimal error for a potential comeback or turnaround from the enemy team. But yeah, so far, it's just so hard to figure out who might actually come up on top here because it's very equal so far. DLSU actually got things going really well. UPD actually retaliating with their own moves, proactive movement across the map. So, I mean, we'll just have to see at this point.
Yeah, you can't say naman na, and you also can't just say na reactive lang ang DLSU because they are trying to make their own plays. And this is just what happens when both two teams of this caliber face each other. They're macro-oriented, which is great, but kasi medyo given na sort of mechanically gifted sila. So it kind of boils down into decision-making na lang. Which team will make the better decision at the specific instance that they are given. Whoever does that, whoever makes a greater decision, is going to be the one who comes out ahead. So far, UPD making small wins and they transition that into sort of a goal lead that is starting to build up now at almost 2K.
You know what's interesting is that DLSU, they kind of need, I'm not sure if yung clash kanina, yung with fear, getting nakidnap nga, gaya ng term. Ako nahawa na ako sa kidnap. Pero yeah, parang nakidnap yung tatlong members ng DLSU. So, I'm actually surprised that DLSU allowed themselves to get caught in that type of position. That being said, I'm not really sure if they... Oh! Hold that thought right there. Looks like there's gonna be another clash. Here comes the tidal wave. Unfortunately, walang nakidnap itong si Zach. Well, that's gonna be 4 members of UPD actually converging onto the support of DLSU. Actually, ultimately get the kill. And it looks like they will be transitioning this into the mountain.
Wow, that's a very smooth engage. Almost smooth. They had missed one kill, but right after that kill, they go straight into a Baron. Yeah, they used up a lot of ultimates just for that Nami though, and that's great though for but UPD now taking into consideration. They're going for macro all the way.
So yeah, I mean, as long as this isn't stolen from UPD, then that'll be fine. Oh no, Asta though, nako, Earth, mag-ingat ka. Will he be able to escape? No, looks like he will have to use his flash though. I mean, yeah.
Wow, action in and out of the game. Asta actually made a very calculated move there. He was actually going for the steal, which is pretty possible at that point. I was a bit confused kasi nauna yung blue team has destroyed the turret. I wasn't sure. Because I saw that the flash, the Baron did go to secured UPD. And that's actually right because both are actually same levels ahead. So their smites are actually pretty much in the same strength. I was almost going to give that to Asta if he was able to pull that pretty smooth there though for UPD for securing that.
So yeah, 5 and 7 hours forward, still anybody's game at this point. Then again, I gotta hand it to UPD though. I'm definitely seeing a lot more decisiveness, and as far as them pulling the trigger to make a lot more proactive plays and tilting things into their favor, it's definitely something that I've seen a little bit more consistent as opposed to DLSU. They've actually had a great start. It's just that I haven't seen the same consistency after the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, you saw that they were 2-1 earlier because of the small positional mistakes that UPD was making, specifically with the top lane earlier, you saw, right? But now they're making up for it, and they're making up for it through the bigger game, which is the macro game. Now UPD is starting to transition more towards the top tower because they know that that is the next global advantage that they can take. So you can see the mind, how the mind of UP is here, and of course, LaSalle is not going to take that just sitting down. They're going to defend that place because they know that this is going to be the next point of contention for both teams.
Not to mention the fact medyo malayo nga tong si Asta, so it looks like they'll have to give up that turret, and that is going to be another objective to taken by UP Diliman. Yeah, I mean...
Okay, so yeah, great there. UPD definitely taking advantage of the global gold. So how will DLSU though get back into this game? What do they need to do to maybe even out this gold advantage? Because by no means they are not falling short, right? So what do they need to do?
I think it's just UPD. They have a certain level of certainty as to what they want to do on the snap. You know, they know which objectives they should be taking next. Well, as DLSU, I feel like they're having a little bit more trouble. They're being a little bit more reactive to what UPD is doing. That being said, it's pretty much the same thing. Whatever UPD is doing, DLSU needs to kind of put things onto their own terms. Try not to be reactive. Instead, they probably want to be a little bit more proactive so that it's UPD that starts responding. But because of this, ang problema kasi, habang pinapatagal ng DLSU too, unless they don't start being proactive, DLSU, they're gonna slowly, let's look at the gold lead right now, slowly tilting into UPD's favor, that if DLSU allows this trend to continue, lalaki lalo yung gold lead na yan.
That's right, and these are some things that you don't want to happen when you're in a position like, because UPD, you don't want them to have a gold lead because the tanks are just gonna get tankier. They have two great tanks in Rakan and in Zac. You saw how they work. If you make it hard, if you make the trend, if you make it longer, if you take time, they might become this big blob of unkillable things that you might have difficulties dealing with at the later stages of the game. So LaSalle Dasma definitely wants to keep up, raise the tempo, right?
Yes.
Am I right? So that's what they want to do, maybe to make the advantages a bit smaller.
It's actually, tama nga, actually, that's the right way to put it. Yung tempo nga, they need to kind of pick up the speed a bit. And kumbaga kumbaga if this were like a musical thing or whatever, they want to kind of start picking up because they had a great start. They just need to kind of pick it up a notch a bit.
Right, just pick it up,
but here
and
comes
now
the jump
engages from UPD.
We're jumping now, but
whoa! See that? Asta baited a flash right there. That was great micro.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm actually quite a fan of how Asta's been playing this thus far. Definitely one of the driving forces of DLSU, but looks like Iconic gonna go for a fight of his own as K joins the party though to grant that sustain. Iconic forced to flash away though. Here comes the tidal wave. Iconic in quite a trouble here. Gets bubble knocked up. Will be going down. Flashes the badge. But still, kill though. Actually goes to Nami.
Yeah, that's great. That's great though. They get gold net. Because on top though, you know what was happening?
The
UPD going for the macro again. So, wow. Iconic is, I don't know, maybe he really wanted to force that. What do you think?
I think it was definitely worth. I mean, like, I think that once he realized that, like, when K responded, there was nothing much else he can do. Since UPD was already practically pushing the top lane, you know, just try to be that sacrifice. Keep the... Because numbers advantage ng UPD.
Yeah.
There were 4 members, while 1 is in the top. Well, those were 2 members responding to just 1 member of UPD. So yeah, I mean, like you mentioned,
Right now,
what's
Flash
happening
is
though, but
ongoing.
here we go. That's going to be the charm though. That's a lot of PC onto DLSU. Ultimately taking down Scyther. Arcmon, Asta very low health. This is turning out to be a bloodbath for DLSU. Iconic vengeance is at hand. 3 members of DLSU down. Make that 3 for 2 in favor of UPD.
Yeah, Neat the Charmer making use of his charms. Gets a lot of members. He actually charmed, I think 3 people. You saw that. It was beautiful. He charmed it and he raised them up to the floor using the grand entrance. And wow, that actually attributed to a lot. It was a small, it's not a big of, what do you call this, a win? Because it was 3 for 2. But UPD were able to secure Dragons because of that. So we see around the replay, you see there the beauty that Neep is experiencing. Blizzard following up with the damage, and from there, cleanup everywhere. Flashes left and right. Asta now just trying to take away from his life. Although Neep will fall in this exchange because their HP were really low in the beginning. They were able to clean it up really nicely despite having losses. And again, that resulted in a dragon, and that's going to extend their lead further.
Kudos to Arcmon though, because that would have been disastrous if they didn't at least get those 2 kills off of UPD. Kumbaga, like, since he was already in the process of near death, parang he just did what he can to secure as much death so that hindi masyadong pabor. Hindi naman sa hindi masyadong pabor, pero just so that they get a trade-off off of that flash.
So it's like yung nangyari sa baba kanina, sa bottom lane. Yung basically LaSalle Dasmat, they knew that they were already in a losing fight. So they're trying to minimize their losses. They're trying to cut back on their losses as much as they can. which is the smart thing to do when you are behind.
So yan, ito na nga, because we are within the mid game, both teams actually, UPD in particular, establishing a lot of control over the Baron side. I mean the upper side of the map because of that Baron, because it's much more, it's a juicy objective at this point.
Yes, exactly. At this point, 25 minutes, you want a Baron. Warriors are going to be there, they're going to spot it, and they're going to whittle down the Baron really well. With the help of those 2 Mountain Drakes, it is going down really well.
Oh no, looks like this is going to be a clash though. Members of DLSU, 4 members, here comes the teleport though, for the response. Oh, back on making it in time though. That is going to be neat though, will be going down, but looks like DLSU trying to get some Monty in this back throw. 2 for 1 in favor of DLSU, UPD actually coming out on top as 4 members actually still surviving. And wow, looks like ultimately DLSU not able to do as much with 4 members of UPD still having that Baron buff. Gonna be a lot more trickier, but here comes Iconic though. We'll be going for the push in the mid lane. Will be able to stop this though. Oh no, might be going down instead. Gets the kill.
That's
a little bit gutsy.
I actually almost liked it.
Oh, but
oh
look
my
here.
god,
Here
turrets are going down on top right now.
I
think, wow, that's why Iconic wanted to go there. He wanted to give room for his teammates to just push down into the inhibitor. I was actually gonna question that, but now that we saw that, they were making a very gutsy play, getting the inhibitor and getting the advantage. So we see a replay here after that Baron. Neep wanted to do the play that he was doing earlier, but he was shut down right away with Arcon. LaSalle learning from their mistakes, they shut down Neep right away. And it was looking really well until you see that kid. Oh my god, the Zac just took everything, and now LaSalle has to cut back on losses again. So that's great, just great responsiveness from LaSalle, but overall great micro and macro plays from UPD.
It's basically a best of both worlds there, which really makes it work in UPD's favor. But Neep actually caught in a very awkward position, is able to escape though thanks to that the charm.
The charm.
The charm actually.
The charmer move speed. That's amazing. Neep knows this champion really well. So far so good. It is so smooth and
oh no, but this is going to be a fight though. Members of DLSU converging onto the members of UPD though. Neep actually very low on health though, but Berserk actually manages to take down Mad God right away. Make that 2 members of DLSU down as the rest of DLSU forced to back away. Asta actually getting the kill onto Iconic as well as Arcmon. This is going to be a 3v3 extravaganza. Jungler mid, ADC alive for both sides, so this is actually very interesting. Here comes Virgo, gets the kill. That's going to be the shutdown, ultimately going to Blizzard as UPD continues the onslaught with this Baron buff.
Yeah, UPD just continuously showing that they are a decisive team and that they deserve to represent this conference. Now, they're not stopping. They are very low. Despite that last kill, they are not stopping. They knew that they had the Baron, and they are now going for it. But LaSalle doing their best, but it's just really hard when you don't have the creeps to back you up and everything else. Because you have buffs, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's really great that UPD is taking advantage, and LaSalle Dasma, I know they are trying their best. They know they have the mindset to do this. And now they're just gonna fall, they're just gonna minimize their losses again, which is what they have been doing time and time again in this game.
I love how UPD has been playing this strategically thus far. A lot of distraction. You know, I gotta hand it to Iconic because even with the 256, those were very necessary deaths to realize the bigger picture for UPD right here. Those deaths were key to securing so many objectives on the part of UP Diliman. That being said, but wow, actually.
Ooh, we have a search and win, guys, so go ahead and go through that URL and go search that win.
And fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Kumbaga, fingers crossed na lang. Hope,
yeah.
like a hope and a prayer na you get that mystery gift right there. But yeah, going into this right now, 12 and 15, but still UPD definitely a lot more definitive. But looks like this is going to be another fight right here. We're actually catching out K and ultimately takes him down. This is going to be yet another fight going in UPD's favor. Arcmon actually quite low on health, but here comes Veer. Wow, very well played. But yeah, UPD, then again, this might actually translate to a lot more pressure for DLSU in the bot lane.
UPD never afraid to pull the trigger at this point. They know they have the lead, and they know they can pull the trigger with minimal losses, especially with creep waves. Look at the creep waves for UPD. Top creep waves, mid creep waves are pushing in, and now the turrets are gonna start falling as well. LaSalle Dasma is starting to bleed out. They will need to pick up the pace and try to find a way to eke out an advantage.
Oh my goodness, UPD. It looks like they're going to get another Mountain Drake. This is just going to make them all the more painful when securing these objectives. And not to mention, you know, UPD has been in total control thus far of this map, and DLSU just forced to respond. But again, at the end of the day, UPD just overwhelming them back and forth across the map as far as every single... Basically, ang maganda kasi dito, UPD, they're not only taking objectives down, but they're also choking DLSU into whatever potential points they could come back.
Right.
Dinedeny ng UPD.
And that's knowledge na kung saan yung points na pwede silang bumalik. UPD has the knowledge to do that. They have the ability to roam around and to control waves very well to stop LaSalle from going in. And I think that's a characteristic that top tier teams have. That, of course, I'm sure both of them have it. It's just that UPD is executing very, very well.
Indeed. And we'll just have to see. It looks like UPD actually pushing at this bot lane here, while Iconic, again, they're going to be sticking to what they know. They're going to be sticking to what works for them. But here comes Asa, though, actually trying to go in, trying to make things happen, though. Actually takes a lot of damage, though. Actually gets the shutdown on the first Zerk right here. DLSU with the confidence now that there's one key member of UPD down, will be forced to back away for the meantime. But that is going to be yet another kill. Veer actually
they're starting to do the shutdowns, and this is LaSalle Dasman knowing the windows where they can eke an advantage. This is what we were talking about. Both teams, they do know, and now LaSalle Dasman starting to execute.
And at the end of the day, who is the enabler for DLSU in this case? It's Asta with the confidence to go in. Again, the trust level. That was actually very dangerous because he was very low on health. Actually, I'm actually surprised na naka-survive siya. Again, it just goes to show that DLSU still has a lot of fighting spirit in them to potentially come back. And Asta may potentially be the key to rally DLSU back together to potentially getting that comeback. Because even though mukhang UPD actually has a lot of domination, that being said, if they make those small miscalculations and grant Asta that opportunity for DLSU to pick off members of UPD, then that's going to be very, very tricky. Lalo na kapag yung na-secure ng DLSU sa mga key members like Further, like Veer, to an extent as well.
And at this point, wow!
Oh, no,
what a Nami Bubble Meat is going to take advantage of that.
Oh no!
And
This is going to be very tricky. Jump in. That's going to be elastic slingshot from Veer right there, but that is going to, as well as the tidal wave to kind of disengage things. But it looks like the teleport is going to be coming in from Mad God as DLSU looks to re-engage a lot of members of UPD, actually very low on Elder. Iconic, tries to flash in though. Fortunately, that's going to be a misflash. Whether they'll be paying for that dearly, that is the question though. But looks like Iconic trying to make out what he can. A lot of members of DLSU actually quite low on health. Looks like Iconic will be able to go for the cleanup in this case. K is his next target. He smells blood. Artmon, the only surviving member, will be able to take him down though. That is the question. Actually dodges the stun right there. Continues to chase. That is going to be the triple kill. That is going to be the ace. UPD getting
the ace. Amazing. Oh my god. Did you see that? This is the point of the game. We are 33 minutes in, and items are actually starting to fill up for both teams. The goal difference that we have been emphasizing earlier that UPD has accrued is starting to mean less and less. As this game progresses, you saw almost LaSalle had it.
It looks like they're going to be going for this Baron and LaSalle University. Dasma not in the precision. Look how fast they took that down because of the Drake. 3 Mountain Drakes.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke that 3 Mountain Drakes can take down turrets and objectives like that really easy. So we have a replay here of what happened here. So you see that somehow LaSalle was actually in a great position. Pero UPD, they're starting to bleed out. Iconic actually, if you look at, there's a misflash here. He was trying to get into the fight. Oh my god. He bumped into a wall. Akala ko pang clean up na ng LaSalle Dasma. But they were taking too long. And the cleanup is now in the favor of Iconic na. Because he's gonna go in to lower and softer champions of LaSalle and K going down. And at this point in the game, you know, kahit if you make a mistake like that, the thing is you need to follow up on it. And now, because of the lack of follow-up, or maybe just the lack of damage.
I was kind of worried for Iconic a bit there because it could have gone both ways. If he wasn't able to get that ace, that flash would have been such a letdown. But luckily, at least nga naman,
may bawi.
Nakabawi siya. Nakuha niya yung ace, nakuha niya yung clean up. So,
nagalit, sir.
They make up for, medyo naka-makeup siya.
Sabi ko, fail flash ko, hindi mabawi ako. Halika
Bigla,
dito.
bigla. Oh man, oopsie. Oopsie. But yeah, still good on Iconic. Look, they do have this Baron buff though. So again, this is gonna allow UPD a lot more room to exert that pressure that they were doing on the DLSU.
Ito na yung lead eh. Hindi lang siya gold lead na eh. Ano na din, mindset lead na din siya eh. For UPD, I was like, partida, error flash pa yun. Eto sa inyo, boom, boom, boom. And so yun, they also have the leeway to make small mistakes like that because of the lead that they have accrued.
Yes, and looks like UPD, they're going to be sticking with the same strategy. Iconic pushing in, pressuring this bot lane here, while 4 members of UPD convert on this mid lane inhibitor turret. Oh my goodness. And oh, looks like us actually trying to make some play, but oops, forced to back away.
Yeah, that was great.
Joke, joke, joke.
At this point, the game 1 mistake, nako, 36 minutes, death timers. Ay, Diyos ko, natutulog ka na sa cementerio.
Exactly. And I mean, looks like the UPD actually will be going in. They have a really good balance of minion waves across the map here, and things are just gonna get all the more trickier here, but looks like DLSU trying to make things happen though. Iconic pushing, split pushing the mid lane.
Yeah, and this is the right split push that you want to take advantage of. Baron empowered, all the minions are forcing their way down into the top, into the mid. You want to split up the buff, and they know the 4-man can take on the 5-man if they do take advantage. Iconic, madali lang mag-gat close yan eh. So, ang ganda ng play ng UPD right now, and let's see if they can keep it up.
And look at this, Cannon just going at it, man. Looks like UPD here, great front line actually, to deny members of DLSU to converge on the more potent target of UPD Liman. And yeah, job well done. Inhibitor down once again. Kahit isang inhibitor lang yan, very crucial pa rin, worth pa rin, as this only allows UPD a lot more potential to take control of the map.
That's right. And Lasal Dasma, you know what? I still give them props for being able to withstand an attack like that. Baron empowered, minion waves are against you, you're still able to survive. It takes skill for a team to do that, to pull it off, especially at this caliber of play. Although now UPD going for the Elder.
Ang sakit niyan, Erp. Kapag they secure that Elder Dragon, imagine how much more painful it will be for them. Oh my god, it looks like Asa contends. Exactly, the burn. It's gonna burn, man.
Oh
like,
my god.
Double the buff, not to mention that's 3 Mountain Drakes. Imagine mo kung ganong kabilis yung pag-takedown nila ng objectives.
You're going to see turrets, maybe 5 hits, 4 hits. Tunaw na. Kahit full HP pa yan.
Nako.
It's great. It's great that UPD knows that they can take advantage. And that's probably why they initially forced top push instead of mid. Although both lanes were actually shoving minions down at the same time. They wanted to push up turrets, the inhibitor on top, so that they'll be, you know, the Saldasa's gonna be distracted.
Yeah, on the opposite side of the map.
Opposite.
Very good point, actually.
If that happens, they will be free to take the Elder.
Oh, yes. And it's very telling. Nakikita mo talaga yung how many steps ahead is UPD as far as how they strategize.
That's some monstrous looking Zac with the flames, and he's huge, man.
Oh,
so
man.
This might be it. I don't know. If someone gets caught out here, this could trigger the last end
yes,
of the fight.
Look at Iconic though. No, looks like the fight indeed. Berserk actually takes down Artman with relative ease. That is going to be the double kill. Take that. 3 kills onto the members of DLSU with only Mad God and Asta to defend this. Oh no, this is going to be very, very tricky indeed as UPD looking to close out this game. Will Veer go for the jump onto Mad God? Looks like that'll be the case indeed as, Iconic on a rampage. That is going to be one last member. That is going to be a very, very convincing win for UPD Liman as, congratulations ladies and gents, UPD Liman will be taking the first game of this series.
Wow, that was amazing. That was almost effortless on the part of UPD. It was so smooth, and they knew that they had the damage to pull it off. People were vanishing left and right. Those 3 members that died in the end, I almost didn't notice that they disappeared. That triple kill, that first triple kill, wow. And that's, again, showing the caliber and the power that UPD possesses. These are showing in the results of this game. So we might see some damage damage.
But yeah,
and
look at this.
screens.
Across the board. Gaya nga lang sinasabi. Look at Iconic though. Kanina nasa medyo negative KDA niya.
Yeah.
But he managed to make a comeback para going positive yun. But yeah, again, I gotta comment Iconic because a lot of the reasons why a lot of these objectives were taken down by UPD is because of yung mind games nila. But look at that. Let's go ahead and check out the damage.
Oh my god, the top lane Iconic going ham on this team. 28k. He had more damage than a full AP Ori. And again, the AD carries, which is a trend that we're seeing a lot. Somehow the top laners and the mid laners of these games, the past few games, they are taking the highlight spot.
Oh man.
That's amazing. And I guess that's just from born amazing micro that has been instilled in you from experience, no?
Yes, indeed. Pero, of course, ladies and gents, be sure to stay tuned kasi when we come back, vengeance pa ba to potentially for DLSU Dasma. They definitely want to get that against UPD. Tingnan natin kung matutupad nga yun. Pero for the meantime, of course, we're going to be taking a quick break. We have been your casters, Arctic at your service, and of course, with me is my bro Rockhart here. Stay tuned as we will be back for the Lenovo Local Collegiate League. Stick around. Goes on to 2 members of DLSU. This is going to be madness right here. Actually going to the turret, but Fear kidnapped indeed. Kidnaps members of DLSU into that turret right there. Archmon gets exhausted, will be able to stay in hell, but here they go. That's going to be the charge though. That's a lot of GG onto DLSU. It's ultimately taken down either Archmon. Asta very low health. This is turning out to be a bloodbath for DLSU. Iconic vengeance is at hand. 3 members of DLSU down. Oh no, looks like it's going to be a clash though. Members of DLSU, 4 members. Here comes the teleport though for the response. Oh, back on making it time though. That is going to be neat though. Will be going down, but looks like DLSU trying to get the Monty in this battle. So 2 for 1 in favor of DLSU. UPD actually coming out on top as 4 members actually still. This is going to be a fight though. Members of DLSU converging onto members of UPD though. He's actually very low on health though, but Berserk actually managed to take down Mad God right away. Take that 2 members of DLSU down as the rest of DLSU forced to back away. Asta actually getting the kill onto Iconic as well as Archmon. This is going to be a 3v3 extravaganza. Jungler mid, ADC alive for both sides, so this is actually very interesting. Here comes Spear though, gets the kill. That is going to be the shutdown, ultimately going onto though. Actually trying to go in, trying to make things happen though. Actually takes a lot of damage though. Actually gets the shutdown on the Berserk right here. DLSU with the confidence now that there's 1 key member of the team down. Will be forced to back away for the meantime, but that is going to be yet another. That's going to kill, as well as the tidal wave to kind of engage this, but it looks like the teleport is going to be coming in from Mad God as DLSU looks to re-engage. A lot of members of UPD actually very low on Elder. Iconic, tries to flash in though. Quickly, that's going to be a misflash. Whether that will be gained for that clearly, that is the question though, but looks like Iconic trying to make out what he can. A lot of members of DLSU actually quite low on up. Looks like Iconic will be able to go for the cleanup in this case. K is his next target. He smells blood. Archmon, the only surviving member, will be able to take him down though. That is the question. Actually dodges the stun right there. Continues to chase. That is going to be the triple kill. Like the fight is going to be Berserk. Actually takes down Archmon with relative ease. That is going to be the double kill. Take that. 3 kills onto the members of DLSU with only Mad God and Asta to defend this. Oh no, this is going to be very, very tricky indeed as UPD looking to close out this game. Will Fear go for the jump onto Mad God? Looks like that'll be the case indeed. As Iconic on a rampage. That's going to be 1 last member. That is going to be a very, very convincing win for UPD Liman. As congratulations, ladies and gents, UPD Liman will be taking the first game of the series.
Wow, that was amazing. That was almost effortless on the part of
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.